Hi, this is Kelly Ablard, founder and CEO of Airmid Institute. I'm here today with Annette Davis, who is a certified clinical nutritionist and aromatherapist with 35 years of experience in the field. Since 1989, she has studied under Dr. Jean-Claude Lapres, a French medical doctor and pioneer in clinical phytoaromatherapy. And now she teaches phytoaromatherapy and endobiogeny at the Endobiogenic Integrative Medical Center in Pocatello, Idaho. She also serves as president and formulator for Time Laboratories, a natural products manufacturer founded by her grandmother, Anne Marie Bueller, in 1973. Within NAHA, the National Association for Holistic Aromatherapy, Annette rose from Idaho Regional Director to Director Coordinator, Vice President, and since 2015, President. Welcome, Annette, and thank you so much for joining us today on behalf of NAHA, a valued Airmid Institute Association member.
Oh, thank you, Kelly, for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
Thank you. Well, before we jump into the interview, I just wanted to add that over the past decade, Annette has helped grow NAHA into a global community of more than 7,000 members, championed 5 NAHA-sponsored research studies validating the safety and efficacy of essential oils, and deepened NAHA's commitment to sustainability through partnerships like the One Airmid Institute, including the Toucan Green Skills initiatives in Peru and the Roots and Rets sponsorship in Crete. So today I want to reflect on the legacy and look ahead to where NAHA sustainability work and global community are headed, thanks to the foundation that Annette and her fellow board members put into place.
Oh, thank you so much, Kelly.
Thank you. So Annette, you've been obviously a part of the aromatherapy community since you were 18, and you've now
Yeah.
led NAHA as president since 2015. So looking back, can you tell us what has the journey taught you about leading a global all-volunteer association of more than 7,000 members?
Well, leading a large volunteer association has taught me that my real job is building bridges of connection for everyone interested in aromatherapy, especially education. Aromatherapy has a place for all. NAHA has members from wildly different backgrounds and schools of thought. The temptation in any industry is to let differences divide and wonderfully diverse community evolve into cliques. My mission is to bring people together centered on a common belief that aromatic and medicinal plants improve our quality of life. Connecting people rather than directing them is the key. This has taught me to be more patient and diplomatic rather than do anything else in my career.
And I have been a NAHA member, aside from Airmid Institute, for several years. And this is something I've witnessed firsthand. And it's so refreshing to be involved in a community that is so inclusive and respectful to one another. So thank you for helping to shape that. The work that you've done is rooted in many generations. So, NAHA itself traces back to the American Aromatherapy Association. And like I'm saying, you're now part of a 4-generation family in aromatherapy through Time Laboratories. So how does that legacy shape the way you lead NAHA today?
Well, being part of a 4 generation aromatherapy family, which includes my kids, which is wonderful, means I never see Naha's work as separate from my own life. Being
Beautiful.
thrown in at such an early age, this is just my life. It
Yes.
was my life through college, it was my life through raising my kids, and it's my life now. My grandmother, Anne Marie, built something from nothing. She was one of the first to bring essential oils from Europe to America. She was doing her own kind of bridge building then, connecting old world plant wisdom with with a new world audience when most people in this country had never heard of it.
Yeah.
That legacy shapes how I lead. I'm working to build connections that will outlast my time on earth as she did.
That is so beautiful. I just have to say, I wish I would have met her. I have a feeling that we would have really gotten on very, very well. So she's very special. Is there a moment from your grandmother Anne Marie's story that still guides decisions that you make today for NAHA?
Well, really, the moment that stays with me is that she never let being told no stop her from believing that medicinal plants could help people.
Nice.
She created one of the first woman owned aromatherapy businesses in a man's world. She would travel to Europe and carry essential oils home in wine bottles tucked into her suitcase. Then she started sponsoring medical seminars in the US, taught by French phytoaromatherapy pioneer Dr. Jean Claude Lapras, who is my mentor. She spent her life creating bridges where none existed between Europe and America, between traditional knowledge and modern science. That instinct to connect rather than divide is something that I try to carry into every NAHA decision.
Yes, I can see where your grandmother very much is alive through who you are today and the things that you do. And Anne Marie, thank you for all the work you've done to pave a wonderful path for us and having such devotion and dedication and understanding of the power of these beautiful plants and the people that are connected to them. Now, many things that NAHA has done has been trailblazing. And one of the things that we at Airmid Institute are really appreciative of is that NAHA chose to be an Airmid Association member, and NAHA has been a member in this capacity for some time now. So what made that partnership a priority for NAHA and its board?
Well, this partnership really is an extension of our bridge building mission. Sustainability isn't a side project for NAHA, it's foundational in our field. Instead of an abstract relationship with plants, many of us will never meet personally, unfortunately. Airmid gave us a way to connect our members who love medicinal and aromatic plants directly to the communities and ecosystems where they originated. Sustainability initiatives turn a shared value into a working relationship with the earth.
Something that we can really monitor over time in terms of results is the Toucan Green Skills Initiative. It was supported by NAHA from the get-go. It would have not gone off the ground without NAHA. This Shipibo Canobo communities in Peru were given curriculum all based in sustainability that were designed and taught by Shipibo in Shipibo and in Spanish. And as a result, turned into 8 very successful sustainability agents. This is something we could be so proud of, and we still look back, and the Shipibo still look back and recognize NAHA's contribution in this way. So from that standpoint, it was a wonderful success. Now, what did NAHA hope to accomplish by supporting the program? And what have you seen the response has been? I mean, we certainly know at Airmid's end, but what are you seeing at NAHA?
Well, one thing that we recognize is the plants we work with every day do not grow in isolation.
Yeah.
They grow in forests tended by indigenous hands or local inhabitants, carrying knowledge passed down through generations. Deep in the Peruvian Amazon, the Shipibo Conibo people are teaching the world something our aromatherapy community has always known instinctively, that plants and people are inseparable, and that protecting one means protecting the other. NAHA is honored to have helped plant the seeds of the Airmid Toucan Green Skills Initiative, a program that trains Indigenous communities not just in sustainability, but in the sacred work of keeping their environmental, social, economic, and cultural knowledge alive for generations to come. Supporting aromatic plant sustainability means supporting the people who have always known how, honoring the hands and wisdom that have cared for these plants long before we ever arrived.
So beautiful. And I love that because, you know, you mentioned cultural heritage and preserving that as well. The two are so, you know, your plant conservation and your cultural sustainability, the two are linked, you know, and you're right. Sometimes it's hard to remember who's behind these essential oils or these plants and where they're coming from in the world and who's relying on them for medicine and for money and for their ceremonies or whatever it may be. And so you rightly, you know, stated that it's a holistic view of their relationship, you know, the plants and the people and their culture. Well, this is part of our mission, really. And for NAHA to help us carry that mission forward in this way, it's invaluable because now we have people working on the ground in Peru who are not only protecting the plants, but their culture is now being preserved, right? And their beautiful green home. I mean,
So
thank you
wonderful.
for that. Thank you for that. Now, I mean, Toucan Green Skills Initiative is one thing, but NAHA also stepped in as a Roots and Rest sponsor for a wonderful gathering that we had, Airmid Institute had in Crete last October. And that whole sponsorship, in fact, was dedicated to NAHA National or NAHA's Netherlands director, Jonathan Benavides. May he rest in peace. So, why was it important to NAHA to sponsor that kind of access and inclusion at this international event?
Well, when we thought of sponsoring this event, we immediately thought of Jonathan.
Yeah, oh,
Loved retreats.
he did,
He
didn't he?
he did.
He did.
And he loved connecting people across cultures and languages.
He did.
And he was a true healer
He
in
was.
every sense of the word. So we thought of him and sponsoring Roots and Rest so people with limited means could attend feels like the truest way that we could honor his legacy. It also gave us great pleasure that our sponsorship supported local Cretan economy and permaculture projects.
Yes.
Airmid
Yes.
united farmers, artisans, and educators in the spirit of protecting the olive tree and maps endemic to one of the world's richest biodiversity hotspots.
Oh, that's so awesome. And you want to know, Annette, Jonathan was going to join us for that event.
Yes,
And
yes.
sadly, we lost him ahead of time. He was a very important part of Airmid's work, also with the
Yeah.
Shipibo as ambassador of the Netherlands at the time. And he was so excited about this because he saw the work that needed to be done. He saw the vision. And it's so nice that in many ways, you know, you did it in his memory, but also I think you've stepped in for Jonathan in that way and
Aw.
took that role on because it was such an important thing for him. He was so excited.
The
Oh,
whole time we were there, I could just picture him smiling
oh
down
yeah.
on
Yes.
Airman's work, on NAHA, on the permaculture projects, everything, which was so amazing. We were so fortunate to be able to go and witness that firsthand. I had just had surgery right before then.
Yeah.
I was thinking about not going. It was a hard trip over, and I was just recovering. But I'm so glad that I decided to go anyway. It was amazing, and I made friends, new friends
Yes.
that are friends to this
Today,
day.
yes.
And I can't wait. I can't wait to go back.
I
It's
know.
an amazing place.
Thank you so much. Well, we look forward to having you back. And, yes, I know you couldn't join us in the dancing that occurred. Sorry,
Yeah.
Annette. I know your back was hurting, but you certainly clapped and cheered us all on as
Yes,
we,
it was
it
wonderful.
was
Such a
wonderful.
good party.
It was a good party. And it was all in the spirit of the love for the plants and the
Yeah.
people. And we got to take part in the Cretan, local fair. And like you said, help strengthen the economy, help with the ecotourism, help with all
Yeah.
these things that are so important. And to think about a professional, an international professional aromatherapy association having an impact like that
Yeah.
around the globe is
Yeah.
also really amazing. And this just doesn't happen every day. So
And
again, thank
so
you.
many that were there joined NAHA. It is
Oh,
just
did they?
truly amazing.
Great. Oh, that makes me happy to
We're
hear.
so happy to welcome them into NAHA and amazing people. We
Oh,
met
wonderful.
so many amazing people.
So we could talk hours about this, but there's more. There's more. So,
Yeah.
yeah, NAHA's own education standards, amazing. They already, you guys are already flagging species like agarwood,
Mhm,
rosewood, sandalwood, even frankincense. You're
mhm,
recognizing if they're endangered or to what degree they're threatened.
mhm.
So, I mean, obviously, sustainability is important to NAHA. How central, though, is sustainability to what NAHA approved schools teach the next generation of aromatherapists or
It's
herbalists?
Yes, it's always been quite central.
Yeah.
NAHA's always paid attention to these sustainability issues and tried to educate people on their importance. When NAHA approved schools teach students that species like agarwood, rosewood, sandalwood, and frankincense are endangered or threatened, we're training the next generation to think about sourcing before they ever open the bottle. A lot of times people pick up a bottle of essential oil,
Yep.
they don't think about where it came from. They don't think about the plants or the impact on the ecosystems where the plants are grown. They just see a bottle of essential oil, they open it and they use it.
Yes.
And so education is really important.
Yes.
I like to emphasize that there's always a sustainable alternative with similar therapeutic properties. So protecting a plant doesn't mean abandoning the practice. You don't have to give up
So
the
beautiful.
therapeutic properties. Pick another one, or you make sure that you're purchasing essential oil from a sustainable operation.
Yes.
So we don't have to give up the oils. Either we find sustainable options, or if there aren't, we choose another oil. There's no reason to be choosing one that is going to have a negative impact on the environment or the ecosystem where it grows. So, what it means is finding the bridge to something else that works just as well. That concept should be central to aromatherapy education from day one.
So true. Absolutely. And thank you so much. I know that NAHA recognizes many schools, and I understand the process of getting recognized. And it's not an easy one. You have to work hard to get this, and you have to follow certain guidelines. And I
Yeah.
have so much respect for the work that's being done to maintain that level, that standard, and to be
Well,
able to,
you and Airmid has really helped us
well,
expand that vision,
thank
taught
you.
us things we didn't recognize. You were so kind as to audit our website, provide an educational video. We couldn't be doing the level of sustainability work that we're doing today without you. And there's mistakes we might have been making.
Yeah, I mean, and we make mistakes too. That's part of the success, isn't it? We
Early
have to.
on, I was using oils I didn't realize were threatened or endangered. I mean, I
It
was an
happens to
18-year-old
everyone.
college
Well,
student
yes. I mean, how
choosing
would
oil
you?
and didn't think about those things. And
Of
so,
course, of course. And this is the work, right? And we will continue to spread awareness, and it's a job that never ends. And so all we could do is the best we can do, and NAHA is certainly doing that. So I thank you, Airmid, our board thanks you, and our membership thanks you.
thank you.
So, Airmid's very global. We have our ambassadors around the world, and NAHA is very global. And now you're supporting these international regional directors, and you're translating content from your conference into multiple language. And so, for NAHA, what's driving that push to serve members outside the US?
Well, really, our drive is the realization that aromatherapy has never respected borders. Our beloved
Hmm.
medicinal and aromatic plants grow throughout the world, so it doesn't make sense for our community to stop at the US border either. This bridge building, in its most literal form, closes the gap between a member in Crete, Brazil, or Idaho. So everyone has the same access to accurate information, regardless of their language or geography.
So beautiful. And this is where true change can be made. I really believe that. It's that inclusivity again, right?
Yeah.
And it's that bringing different perspectives in and understanding what's going on around the world. And this is powerful. That's
Mhm.
powerful work.
And our International Relations Committee Chair, Ragda,
Mhm.
has done
Oh,
so much work to bring international members in and mentor them and just really expanded our international presence.
thinking about essential oils and how we seek them all over the world. Like you say, there are no borders. And so as this demand for essential oils keeps growing worldwide, what responsibility do you think professional associations like NAHA have in shaping how the next generation sources and practices everywhere?
I think that associations like NAHA carry true responsibility
Yeah.
here. The demand for essential oils continues to grow rapidly, and in many cases, demand is outpacing supply. And
Yes,
that's a real problem.
it is.
So part of our responsibility is building bridges between practitioners and the source communities and growers who actually steward the plants. That's important. We need to connect with the people who are responsible for the plants. Sourcing decisions shouldn't be made in a vacuum, which unfortunately they often
They
are.
are.
If we teach sustainability and ethics as core curriculum everywhere we operate, not just in the US, we make sure the next generation, wherever they are, inherits a profession that still has something left to work with. Well,
Uh,
you see these sci-fi Armageddon movies where no plant is left on Earth. It's not sci-fi really
no,
anymore. We need to pay attention.
we really, really do. And the numbers sadly are not boding well as time
Yeah.
goes on. And certainly there are great initiatives in place all over. But as you say, in our case, in our community, the demand is far outweighing our ability to supply and meet those
Yeah.
demands. And this is putting a huge pressure on many wild populations, and even those in cultivated situations, we're seeing repetitive issues. So it's good that you have that level of understanding and knowledge that you can bring forward as a leader in the community to help, because people are looking up to you and they do know that these associations like NAHA are responsible to help give that information and to share it and to guide. We always are thinking about the next generation, or like in the seventh generation principle, 7 generations down the road,
Yeah.
just even looking at 10 or 20 years down the road. How do you see NAHA's sustainability work that you and the board have put into place evolving alongside the organization's global growth?
Well, 10 or 20 years out, which goes in a flash,
Yeah,
I'd like to see the bridges we've begun building with Airmid, with Indigenous communities, with local and international members, become permanent infrastructure
nice.
rather than just special projects that we tackle now and again. I hope future NAHA and our sister organizations will continue replicating these projects in their own regions.
Nice.
Growth only means something if the connections between our community and the people and places we depend on are able to thrive.
Oh, I think that quote needs to be put somewhere on NAHA's website. That's beautifully said. I mean, what more can
Thank
you
you.
say?
Yeah,
I mean, that really does sum it
self-evident,
up.
isn't
It
it?
is self-evident, but I just don't think a lot of people think in this way. What would you really want every NAHA member, wherever they are in the world, to understand about why sustainability must be a part of the future of this profession?
Yeah. Well, really, I hope that every NAHA member understands that sustainability is not separate from practicing aromatherapy.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. It's impossible to feel good about helping people with essential oils while contributing to the extinction of the aromatic plants we choose to use.
They've been giving so much for
Yeah.
so many thousands of years. So we
Yeah.
owe it to them, don't we? I believe that we owe it to the plants, and they are our future. They're going, how we treat them is what
Yeah.
we're going to get back. So
We owe it to the plants and the communities
we
that
do.
we're taking from.
We absolutely do. Do you have any final thoughts really on where you'd like to see NAHA and Airmid's partnership go next?
Well, I'd love to see our NAHA and Airmid partnership continue to expand into more community led projects like the Toucan Initiative, places where local people set the agenda and then we support it. My mission has always been to build an inclusive community rather than letting different groups or geographies divide us. I hope our industry will continue finding ways to honor people who spend their lives building the gap between holistic practice and sustainable methods.
Thank you so much. We look forward to our continued partnership.
Thank you, Kelly, for the critical work you're doing through Airmid. And it's really NAHA's absolute honor to support such important work.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Now, Annette, if anybody has any questions, how can they reach out?
The best way is to go to naha.org. We have an extensive website, or they can email info@naha.org if they don't see what they're looking for.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Annette. We'll be in
Thank
touch
you,
soon.
Kelly.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.